Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be installing the M competition style seatbelts on our BMW M4. So let's get straight into this. That's right, our 2015 BMW M4 is now going to have, instead of these ugly, boring, regular black seatbelts, is going to have the M-style competition seatbelts, like of course on the M4 competition. Now, this was never an option on the convertible, and so we decided, hey, why don't we install the M competition seatbelts to bring a little bit more flavor, a little bit more color into the car. These are just kind of boring, and on a car this exciting and flamboyant as this, a Yas Marina Blue F83 M4, we wanted a little bit more pizzazz, something else a little bit more fun, right? So I should say that this video is of course possible by Safety Restore. Safety Restore is today's sponsor, but of course, like I always say, I will remain neutral. I won't say anything biased towards or against them. This is just my honest and open opinion on their products and services. But Safety Restore, you may have heard of them. They are pretty much the leader in seatbelt customizations. They repair airbags, they repair seatbelts, they have different colored seatbelts for you to send in yours, and they'll return them with new colors. So you can pretty much get any color that you want for pretty much literally any car that you have. So we are going to be doing the M competition style belts on our M4, and I am going to be changing my seatbelts too. On my F10 535i, the color will be a secret, but I don't think anybody can expect what color I'm gonna go. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. And of course, if you're not subscribed, subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified when that video drops, because there's a lot more videos coming, and I mean a lot more videos coming for that car, and of course the M4. But we are going to remove these seatbelts and send them to Safety Restore in Massachusetts, where they're going to go ahead and clean off our motors and our everything for the seatbelts, and they're going to replace it with the M competition style belts. These are not some quasi brand belts. These are real good quality, seriously good belts. And Safety Restore has pretty much been the king of this field for the longest time. It's pretty much a monopoly in their favor. They have the quality, the tools, the history, the know-how, and they have the reputation. So thanks to Safety Restore for sponsoring today's video. And if you're interested in getting some colored seatbelts for your car, they have so many colors. But if you're interested in getting some seatbelts for your car, make sure to use code MotoRevs to get 20% off, because who doesn't like a discount, right? So again, use code MotoRevs to get 20% off if you decide to buy some colored seatbelts for your car. Any make, any model, go check out Safety Restore. But with that out of the way, I think it's time to start removing the seatbelts on our M4. There is actually not a single video on YouTube or on the internet of how to remove the seatbelts on these seats, the convertible, the F83 and the F33 seats. Literally no video. So I'm going to be a pioneer, or at least try to be a pioneer. I'm going to remove it without the use of a video. I've been on the forums and everything, and there are some helpful things, but of course, nothing like a video. So I'm gonna go ahead with my dad, of course, because this is his car. We are going to go ahead and remove these seatbelts, all 4 of them, front and rear. And then, like I said, ship them off to Safety Restore. They'll exchange them for the M competition style. They'll send them back, and we will put those back in here. And it is seriously cool how quick and efficient they are. We actually did this on our Porsche 911 that we had earlier. We had black seatbelts on that car. It was black on black with black seatbelts. It's a pretty boring spec, honestly. But then we got red seatbelts, and my oh my, that car completely changed. And of course, we did that with Safety Restore. So, like I said again, code MotoRevs, save 20%. And also, really quickly, just for reference, Safety Restore has 20 years of experience doing this. So you know that you can trust them, and they only have the best repairmen and technicians that they can get their hands on. So you know that your stuff is in very good hands. They have been doing this, like I said, for 20 years. That is a really long time. So they have been doing this for a while. You know you can trust them. And their turnaround is 24 hours. And the shipping back, they say, usually takes more or less 2 to 3 days. So you'll probably send it in and you'll get it back maybe 3 days later, 4 days later, which is not bad at all. Less than a work week. You can go to work in another car maybe. And then when you get back in time for the weekend, put on the new belts and you have brand new seatbelts. I absolutely love it. It's so amazing. So let's get into this. So I think it's time we start getting started removing these seatbelts. I don't think it's gonna be easy, but it shouldn't be too hard. We'll see. Let's start. All right, so we ventured somewhat far into this so far. You can see we've removed the side panels here. We've disconnected the little buttons to move the seat back and forth from the rear. But you can see that we have the seatbelt right here. We assumed the anchor point was somewhere around here, but we were quite wrong. It's all the way underneath directly on the bottom of the seat. So we are going to, in fact, have to remove the seat, which I don't think is too bad. I've removed this cover from the front, and I can see this bolt right here. So I'm going to assume that this bolt will take off the entire rail. So I'm gonna do the same thing on that side, and of course on the rear. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the seat, take it inside, put it somewhere, and then we can have easier access to be able to actually access the anchor point underneath the seat. So we're gonna go ahead and start removing the seat from the rails. The seat is out. I didn't record it, but the seat is out. It actually was not that bad. There's actually 5 bolts for some reason. I don't know why there's 5. In most cars, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 at each corner. But for some reason, this car has an extra one back here. I don't know if maybe it's convertible. That has something to do with it. But there's a 5th one here. We removed it. We removed this as well, the main connector. And then, of course, we got it out. We did not have to remove the battery. Which is pretty, awesome. So we have the seat out, completely out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lay it down on a table, and we're gonna take it apart, and we'll actually be able to get the retracting reel part of the actual belt off and out of this seat. And then from there, we can go ahead and do the same thing to the driver's side, and then we'll go ahead to the back. But we're gonna go ahead and remove the retracting reel part from this seat. And of course, like I said, we'll do the other one. So let's go ahead and start on this one. Okay. Excuse the mess, but fast forward a little bit. We have gotten the seat out, and we have now the seat belt, the seat winder out. Let's see where it is. I can't even find it now. Should be there. There we go. We finally have it out. Check this out. What I did, to be honest, so just so y'all know, I did this seat with my dad in the beginning, of course, just right now, to see what it's like, and oh my God. Do be warned, this is not an easy job. Like, seriously, it really is not that easy. We thought it would be a little bit easier. I mean, going into this, we knew it would be difficult, but not this difficult. I mean, it is really difficult. You have to take the leather off. You have to like unscrew pretty much everything from the seats. You got this, you got little plastic bits everywhere. You got a bunch of little screws. It's pretty in-depth, honestly, and it's not too frustrating, but it will get to you if you let it. Now that this seat is off and I know how to do it, now I will show y'all how to do it on the driver's side so that I'm more informed and can better help y'all. So let's go ahead and remove the driver's seat, this time with step-by-step instruction. Okay, so to start off, go ahead and remove the 5 bolts that I showed y'all earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and remove those 5 bolts, and I'll catch up with y'all when I'm done with that. All right, the seat is unbolted from the actual car. So now what we have to go ahead and do is remove this little black cover covering this big control module cable system thing, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this cover right here. I'm gonna pop that off, and I'm gonna disconnect the control unit. All right, the seat no longer has power. Awesome. This big cable, though, is held on by this little black plastic connection, so go ahead and take that off. It shouldn't be too hard to remove. It should be attached near the rail on the inside. All right, the seat is completely free now. We can go ahead and take it to our table and start removing every single part that we need to remove. So the first thing we should do on this exact seat is we're gonna go ahead and remove this little plastic bit right here so we can actually expose everything and get everything else off. All right, there we go. This is off. After that, we're gonna go ahead and remove this big black piece that goes all across the back of the seat. There we go, that's off. And you may see these little metal clips right here. Just go ahead and if one of them falls out, go ahead and put it back in. Nothing's broken, don't worry. So we can put this to the side now. The next thing you wanna do for sure is remove the leather from these little bits. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna pull it out a little bit, and it should be able to come right off just like that. So go ahead and do that for all of these. Perfect. Now that we have this all taken off, we can go ahead and remove this part. However, you don't really need to remove the entire thing. All that I've noticed, at least, is that you can just remove this part, and this will actually allow you enough room to be able to take this off and swing it right through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this anchor point right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bit so that this can actually slide through right here through that little hole. And then once it's up there, we'll remove this bit with a few screws, and we'll go all the way back down to the bottom and the front, which is where the reel is. So for this one, I'm using a T25, and there are 3 bolts at the top right here. You can see the 3 right here, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and remove those, and once those are out, you can actually go ahead and slip the seatbelt through, and of course out, once we go ahead and disanchor it from here. So this next step you don't really need to do, but I like it because it gives you more access to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screwdriver right here. And once I do that, I can go ahead and remove this pin right here, which holds the actual back of the leather on. So I'm gonna go ahead, do that all the way, comes right out. There we go. So I did that side, but you don't really have to do the other side because everything really is right here. You can see the seatbelt right here anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start fishing everything through here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna flip the seat over so I can access the bottom of it, because that is now where everything is. So you can see the belt here. Now everything that I need to do is gonna be on the bottom side of the seat. So I'm gonna go ahead and try by myself to flip over the entire thing. So let's go ahead and see if I can do that. So that's not really what I wanted, but it works. So we're gonna go ahead and leave it there. Now to continue, what we're gonna wanna do is, you can see you have your belt here and it goes all the way through there. We have to remove this plastic bit. So to do that, just go ahead and pop off up here. And the other side, same thing. And then you can go ahead, pull it up and out. Once you do that, go ahead and get your T20 and remove these two very small little bolts right here. And this is just so we have enough clearance to actually get the seatbelt buckle through this part right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start fishing it through. And here's one bit that we struggled on that you might struggle on too. You can see right here, the buckle has to fit through this hole, but it won't fit. So what you have to do is very simple. You're gonna go ahead and bring the buckle down. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip it upside down. So you're gonna go ahead and make sure that all the seatbelt before it is the right way. There we go. And then once it's upside down, it should just go straight through. There we go. Perfect, right out. So now we can go ahead and start fishing it through here as well. And that's it. Seatbelt is loose. Now all we have to do is remove the reel right here. So let's go ahead and start removing this. Most of these bolts are Torx. This one, for example, is T50. Most of the ones that hold the reel, actually all of the bolts that hold the reel on are gonna be a T50. So they're pretty big, nice, beefy bolts. You can go ahead and remove this. There is a certain orientation in which you have to align the reel to get it out. There we go. You can see it's loose. Take this bit out. Perfect. Now that's loose. All you gotta do now is disconnect the cables. So this one's pretty interesting. You can see that we need the yellow and the white cable free. So we go ahead and we follow it, and you can see it actually goes here to the control unit. All you have to do is actually slide this bit out towards the left, as you can see, well, towards the top of your screen. If we go ahead and just push it, you can see it starts going out. I like to use a screwdriver, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a screwdriver, and with that, you can just push it out of this little hole right here. You can see it's already going through. There we go. The cable is loose, but there is a zip tie that you have to cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the zip tie, holding the cable onto the actual frame of the seat. And there we go. Your reel is completely loose. You can go ahead and put it in the box with the others. And there you have it. That is how to remove the seatbelts from your F83 or F33 seat. Hopefully I helped. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove the rear seats, and then after that, we'll send them out. So let's go remove the rear seats. All right, as for the rear seats, all we've done so far is we've removed this big center part, which of course you just pop right out. To go ahead and pop that out. And then we lower this, and you can see there's 4 little covers for some screws. We went ahead and removed those. We're in the process of removing the screws, but we had to go ahead and open the roof just a little bit and keep it there so we could remove these 5 little plastic screw things. Just go ahead and pop them off. They just pop off so easily. We don't really know exactly where the reels are. We believe they're right in here somewhere, but we can't say for sure. Maybe back here. So we're just trying to get rid of everything we can. We're going to try to get this off, and then we'll see where to go from there. But yeah, you might have to lift up the roof a little bit and see if you can remove those 5, and then go ahead and remove the anchor point, which is just underneath this little bit of leather down here. So we remove the anchor point, but you know, it's still no good if we don't know where the reel is. So we're trying to find the reel right now, because like I said, there is nobody on the internet who has uploaded a video or anything about removing the seatbelts on this car. So we're pioneering, we're trying to see, we're trying to help all y'all, right? So bear with us, we're trying our best right now. All right, after much stress and work, we found out that the reel is actually right here behind this little bit of leather. So what we did, like I've shown y'all, we removed this entire centerpiece. When we opened this up, like I showed y'all, there were 4 screws that we went ahead and removed. There were 4 Torx screws, and then we removed that. But before we could remove that, these side panels, which we thought actually were connected to this all the way back here, we thought we had to remove the whole side. We did not actually. It was just this bit at the top. We pried it all the way off, and then right here, there's 1 screw holding it in. So where there's 2 holes, the one furthest to the rear, you just pop it out, and the one closest to the front, you have to go ahead and unscrew it. Once you do that, you can pop off the entire thing. And this is a really, really weird connection. I'm not sure how it worked. It looks like we broke it here. I'm not sure, but just go ahead and remove it from this, and then everything should pop out. Once it's popped out, you have the reel right here, and I really don't know how we're gonna get there. This piece, this leather bit, I don't know how to remove. We're gonna figure that out soon. But once we get that, technically we should be able to remove it right there. So we're gonna go ahead and see what the next few steps are, but it was not easy. It was pretty in-depth. Same with the front, but the rear is really in-depth. Like I said, you have to raise the roof like halfway so you can actually access everything. It's not easy, be warned. It's not easy, but it should be worth it, right? So we're gonna go ahead and keep doing this. We're gonna keep at it, see how to remove this leather bit. Once we do that, we should be able to remove the reel. Once we get the reels off, then we go ahead, we ship them over to safety restore, get the new ones, and we put it back on. So we're gonna keep going at this, see how we can remove the reel. And would you look at that? We just got this off, but man, what a pain that was to get off. Because if you look at it, it doesn't give you any clear signs or markers of where to remove or unbolt or unclip. Nothing. Our first time, we had to guess where it was. So we just started pulling and eventually it came out. You can see that's what guides it in. It's a really, really weird over-engineered system as BMW usually does it. But you know, when you over-engineer, you know, stuff can go wrong and break. But it didn't break, fortunately, but it's really weird. But you can see here, we've also removed this bolt that you can access from the top to hold this. Looks like another anchor point. So very nicely secured anchor. We removed that and we thought that would be it, but of course not. So gotta remove that. And then once you go find the reel, go underneath, there it is. Check that out. There's the bolt to get this dang thing off. It took long enough and finally it's gonna come off. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that, do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll ship them out and we'll get them back. So yeah, this is very tiring, very exhausting. I mean, the car is pretty much completely torn apart. There's nothing left of it, but yeah. Also, for reference, you don't have to remove this little bit that folds up and down for the wind deflector. At least on the convertible, you don't. We're gonna go ahead and remove this reel, do the same thing to the other side, ship them out, and I will get back to y'all when we get the new belts. And there you have it. Rear seats are out. Of course, you can see right there, everything is missing and looks pretty awful and broken and everything. Tools and parts and pieces everywhere. But that's what it takes to get these seatbelts off. Like I said from the very beginning, this is not easy, but we're gonna go ahead and still do it because, well, we're done. So we got our seatbelts here. We got a few of them. We got 2 of them. So we're gonna go ahead, put these in the box. I'm gonna send them to safety restore. Give it about 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 at the latest, but I don't think so. And then we'll get the new ones back with the competition style, right? Of course, with that 3M colors. It's gonna look amazing. And we're gonna do the opposite of what we just did, put them back in. So I'll catch y'all when we have those. Let's go ahead and see what they look like. All right, look at that. We just got the box from Safety Restore back from Massachusetts. Now it's time to open them up, look at them, and see how they look. I am so excited. Let's take a look at these. Get this out of the way, and let's take a look at our first seatbelt. Can't tell if it's the front or the rears. Oh yeah, take a look at that. Very well packaged. Let's take a closer look, but you can kind of see what we went for, obviously. There we go. Here is the reel right here. Looks like they might have cleaned it up. It looks pretty good. And then of course, here we have the belts and the cat's looking. But check out that belt. This is exactly how the M competition belts are on, of course, the M cars. And of course, we have the M4 and we wanted the M belts, but it didn't come on the convertibles. But now we have them and they look so good. These are real seatbelts, of course. Check that out. Looks absolutely amazing. I am a really big fan. I cannot wait to see how this looks on that car, especially with the Yas Marina blue. It's gonna look absolutely amazing. Let's open up the other ones and then let's put them back on. All right, so here we are back at the M4. You can see we have completed 2 things right now. We have completed the rear driver's side and the front driver's side. You can see here it looks so good. I absolutely love it. I must say one thing though. When we got them and we looked at the colors, we noticed something wasn't perfect. You can see here the 2 blues are very similar, and on the original competition belts they didn't look this similar. They were more contrasting and you could see 3 colors. However, from far away it kind of looks like just 2 colors, the red and 1 big blue. I'm not too, upset with it, but it is kind of not the original because, well, it's not the original, but I shouldn't have expected the original. But it's, like I said, not the original colors, but it still looks very good nonetheless. I'm still a very big fan of it, and I think it is for sure way better than it was before. And of course, from far away, it looks, oh man, I love it. I love it. I love this little touch that the M cars have had. Always since I was a kid, I just love it. It's such a nice little touch. But you can see over here, we have the rear driver's side reel in. Look at that, very nice. And basically, obviously, it's just the opposite of what we did earlier. Whatever you took off, you just put back on in the same order that we took off. So what we're doing now is gonna put this one back on, put the seats here, and then we're gonna clip this one right in and then bolt it down, of course. I'm gonna show y'all, or at least try to really quickly show y'all how to put everything back together on front right side. So we're gonna go ahead, like I said, and start putting everything back together. We have the driver's side seat right there, and we have the passenger seat inside the house. So we're gonna have to go get that, which by the way is very heavy. It's a very heavy seat. I don't don't know if I said that before. So we're gonna go ahead and get that. Once we get that in, we'll put in the other rear side seatbelt, and then we can start working on the other front seatbelt, and then we should be done. So looky here, you have the zip tie here holding it in so it doesn't, you know, just reel all the way in, which by the way, you can remove. You don't need a zip tie. And then we have the M colors. Looks really good. And of course, against the Silverstone, it looks amazing. I absolutely love it. Let's get this rear right reel on. Check it out. This is what we have so far. We've successfully put the both rears right on. Look at that. They look awesome. And you got to make sure that they can actually reel out before you put it on, because if not, if it's locked, obviously you can't reach it to the bottom. So make sure that they spool out, and then that way we can actually go ahead and make sure this reaches all the way down here right there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the little side pieces on each side, and then we can go ahead and successfully lock this in place, and then we should be done with the rears. Of course, we put the rear seats back on, and then the rears should be completed. Now this is looking really good. We have the entire rear seat on right now. Seatbelts are on and locked in. They look so good against the Silverstone. This is one of my dream specs, the Alpine Silverstone, and the little M belts right here. It looks so good, but we've encountered a bit of an issue right now. We're trying to get the seatbelts on through this tiny hole, but the tolerances are so tight that there's really no way to hold this and pull it through. So what we're doing right now is we're putting some duct tape on it and creating a little handle so that way we can actually fish this through the hole, so that way we can actually put the seat back into place, because without the tape there really is no other way of pulling the entire seatbelt bit right here through the seat without having some form of, like, you know, grabbing on. So like I said, we created a little handle with some duct tape. Hopefully this is enough to pull this through while we shove the seat back into place, pulling this the opposite direction so that of course, you know, it stays in. But we're gonna see if this works. There you have it. The rear is complete and it looks so good. I love how this looks. We got the headrests back, all this parts of the seat back. We got the buckles back. Y'all saw that. It is very dirty though. We're going to clean it, but you know, look aside that, it looks so good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over here and show y'all the driver's seat, of course, is, you know, over there where it doesn't belong. So we're going to go ahead and, you know, pick that up, which is like 5,000 million pounds. And we're going to put it down right here. And when I cut back, is what y'all going to see is we're going to have the seat here, of course. We're going to start bolting everything back in, plugging everything back in, and then the front driver's seat should be done. It should be relatively easy to put it back in since taking it out was pretty easy. And then after that, what we're gonna do is the passenger seat still hasn't been fixed yet. We haven't put the new seatbelt on there, so we're gonna do that. And then once that's done, of course, obviously we'll put it back in here where you can see I'm standing currently, because this is a really weird experience standing in the car like this. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and grab the driver's seat, bring it on over here, put it on, and then we should be good there. And then passenger seat. Seat is on. You can see it's not fully, you know, bolted down, but the seat is in the correct position. We have the driver's seat fully finished, and that is all done. It looks amazing. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these extra 5 bolts. I already put one there, so there's 4 remaining. I'm going to put them on. Of course, you know, tighten the seat down. I'm going to plug it in, route the wires correctly, and then after that, honestly, that should be it. That should be everything that we need to do. The battery is saying that, you know, that there's low battery. The car is telling us low battery, because we keep moving the seats without turning the car on, because, you know, the seats aren't connected, and we don't want, you know, the airbag warning, whatever. So we're going to turn the car on when we're done with this. You know, hopefully there are no errors. There shouldn't be any errors. We're not worried about that. But like I said, I'm gonna finish putting this seat on, and then we should be done. All right, we have finished. I'm so happy. It took so long. It was a lot of work, pretty painful sometimes, but we did it. And I am so happy because it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, you can see them from here immediately. And with the top down, oh man, oh my God, look at this. I absolutely love them. They look great. Like I said in the beginning, unfortunately, the blue in the middle is not very dark. So at some lighting, it does look like the 2 blues are one big blue, but that's all right. I don't actually think it looks too bad. In fact, I think it looks great. And of course, the driver's side as well. Check it out. They feel great. They feel really high quality. They're nice and thick, durable feeling. And the rear seats as well, you can see them there in the rear. They look great. I mean, I've gotten so many compliments from them. And of course, when you're wearing them over yourself, you know, with the blue on the outside and the white on the interior, they really pop. And I think they look so good. Like I said, it was a bit of a pain at some points to get these on, but you know, after all of that work, it really genuinely was worth it. And I would do it again, and I will do it again, because the F10 535i, like I said, is getting some. So stay tuned for that. Should be very soon. I am so excited for that. But honestly, other than this is pretty much it. Not much else to say. Like I said, if y'all want to pick up some seatbelts for yourself, use code MotoRevs and get 20% off. That's a really good amount. Actually, 20% off is a lot. But other than that, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Take care.